Hey, how you doing? It's DecepySwag, and today I want to just freestyle about something that's really been weighing on my mind, and that's just how important this release of Fatal Fury COTW is, and why I'm both scared and excited. But before we get into that, I just want to say please be sure to check out the community feedback survey pinned in the comments. Helps me get an idea how you all been feeling about the content so far. Survey will be live until February 1st. Now, with that out the way, you already know. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more, and don't forget to tap the bell icon. Let's get to it. The Fatal Fury franchise at one point in time was the golden child of SNK back in the 90s. It was the fighter that went toe-to-toe with the juggernaut Street Fighter 2. From games to merchandise and multiple, and I mean multiple, animated films, it was definitely an era of Fatal Fury. Not to mention, of course, KOF, Sam Show, Art of Fighting, Last Blade, etc. You get the idea. SNK was in their bag for sure. The last Fatal Fury game to come out was GAROU back in 1999. For those you don't know, I was born in 96, nearly 30 years ago with not a single sequel in the franchise. The best way I could put it would be if Street Fighter Third Strike and Capcom just stopped after that. No more Street Fighter 4, no Street Fighter 5 for years. It would be like them just now coming out with a Street Fighter 4. SNK, all things considered, has relied heavily on KOF for decades, specifically the past 20 years since entering the 2000s and on up. I've mentioned this before in a video which you can catch here, but to sum it up, things were looking pretty rough for the company for many years, and the KOF franchise helped keep the company afloat. But over time, a lot of their franchises became dormant. Now we're in the year 2025 and we have a brand new Fatal Fury coming in April, and the attention this game has been getting is unlike anything SNK has seen in years. From the interviews, trailers, demos at events, and match footage shared with content creators, SNK has been firing on all cylinders when it comes to really putting this game over with the fighting game scene. Not just SNK folks, but the greater whole of the community of all fighting games. Fatal Fury, from the way things are shaping up, could be the culmination of all the gripes people have had with SNK fighters over the years. A game that truly shows that SNK has learned from their mistakes, from the issues with the online, subpar lobbies, and graphics that frankly didn't wow folks. Except for Sam Show 2019, that game looks pretty well still to this day. I try to be positive with things, try to have an optimistic outlook when surprisingly, I actually have a habit of being the opposite. Not necessarily negative, but more so pessimistic. Just how I grew up. Can't be disappointed if you're not expecting anything. However, with this game, I'm actually hopeful, and that scares me a lot. So easily can a bad first impression forever have an effect on a game. We've seen this with KOF 15 release, when the matchmaking wasn't working properly and folks just were turned off. Which, by the way, the matchmaking works. Go play KOF and it has crossplay. SNK has to make sure everything goes off without any problems, and God forbid something does go wrong, then we need them to be on top of that issue ASAP, not weeks later. It needs to get resolved immediately, in that moment or in those couple days. This game doing well has a lot of implications for more than just Fatal Fury games, but SNK's other fighting game franchises. We're already seeing it with the new Sam Show action RPG, a historically fighting game oriented franchise is being taken into a new genre. Same thing with the new Art of Fighting game. Imagine if in the future we get like a Yakuza, like a Dragon game, where you're playing as the two main characters driving through Southtown in the 80s. Be pretty dope. We could finally get dormant franchises coming back like, oh, I don't know, Last Blade? Please bring back Last Blade. This will allow SNK to really realize that they have way more games to pull from besides KOF, and that's just their fighting games. News came out that they trademarked the name Project Perseus, and that's having people speculating it could be a new Athena game. Once again, your daily reminder of Ariga and SNK are working together to revamp their non-fighting games, but I'll make a video for that another time. It's no exaggeration when I say this may very well be the most important game SNK has made to date, or at least in the new millennium. Fatal Fury looks amazing, the gameplay has people hyped that got to play it, and much more. It's seemingly doing everything well. It's been getting so much attention that, well, before the game even released, it's gotten 10 times the attention that 15 got, both leading up to 15's release and post-release. Bro, this has me so scared and excited. For the first time, it really seemed like folks are interested in playing an SNK fighter for once. Now, to clarify, this game does not need to sell like Street Fighter 6 crazy numbers or Mortal Kombat numbers. Not at all. It just needs to do better than 15. For the most part, every new fighter SNK released has done well for itself. Halo 14 sold well enough for them to continue with the franchise, Sam Show obviously did well enough to warrant what they're doing now, and to be real with those games, they had major issues. Sam Show with the online problem and pairing with COVID, Halo 14 was, we know, we don't really need to go into that, but the lobbies for 14 were fire, and King of Fighters 15 from what I understand has done well also. SNK Heroines I'm not too sure about, but that's neither here nor there. I have seen comments over the past 2 years or so since the announcement of the new Fatal Fury game of people insinuating that it has to sell as well as Street Fighter 6 or it's a failure. That's just wrong. That's completely wrong actually. In moments like these, we have to temper expectations. Of course us fans will love if it sold that well, but will it? Probably not. But can it do extremely well for itself, especially for SNK fighters? For sure. The term Golden Age gets thrown around a lot lately, and especially what we've been doing with new fighting games, I'm sure you've heard it. And I'll be no different when I say that this era of SNK just might possibly be a new era that could rival that of the 90s. Of course, I could be hyper exaggerating, but honestly, I don't care. It feels good to be excited for an SNK project, especially one like a new Fatal Fury. But hey, who knows? I could be wrong. But that leads me to my favorite part of the video where I get to ask you a simple question. What are your thoughts? Are you hopeful for the new Fatal Fury game doing well? Anything you hope to see get improved or added? Maybe you're hoping that if this does well, then one of your favorite older fighting games can come back from SNK. Comment down below and let me know what you're thinking and I'll try to get back to you. But till next time, I'm DecepySwag. Later.